All right, let's get into things. Where are we at? Almost 11 o'clock. 10:56 on the 20th of Feb. Excuse me. So look, I'll start off with gold because metals certainly is where kind of the action is at the moment. DXY sort of is producing a couple little fun bits and pieces, but certainly gold, metals, and gold in particular, really showing us, providing us with some of the best trades in that at the moment. But let me just clear this up a bit because this is that consolidation box we were looking for. I will just point out one quick thing just before I sort of move this onto a different time frame. But obviously we've got a range setting up the top up here. This rising support that seems to be fairly well respected. I mean, a couple of bucks, whatever, on the top side here, but gave it a good springboard to come up here. So obviously yesterday we were coming for the breakout. 4 hour, this is on the 4 hour here. Bang, out the top. New technical all-time high. Took out the highs here, and then reversed. Came back down. Um, if we have a look at this sort of like, so I mean, it bounced back up, which is quite good for it. Like the buy the dip is very strong with gold. I mean, look at the whole sort of thing. I mean, if you bought the dip any time this year, you can't go wrong. This is the importance of sort of trading with the trend as well. I mean, every textbook says, don't fight the trend and sort of go with the trend. And the thing is, particularly when you're doing swing trades, when you've got a trade like this, it doesn't matter if you time it wrong. Like if you get sucked in and you buy this point just here, just as an example, and it goes up and you're into the profit and you're going for a swing, comes back down here. Yes, it takes out your technical stops for these points here, but that's the thing. There's no point trading the textbook because that's how they take the easiest money is to sort of just try to take the people to trade. The textbook said put it just under the previous lows. Well, what does it do? Under the previous lows, then reverses and moves up. But anyway, point is, even if you time it wrong, you buy it here and then it pulls back, it eventually rolls into profit for you. So as long as your position isn't too monster that you have to have a stop that's like, $2 or $3 behind it, well, you're going to be okay. And it sort of moves into it all. And buy the dip has been very strong through this whole period here, of course. So what we're kind of seeing now, though, is like, buy the dip is very strong still, but this range is very wild, moving up and down, up and down. I mean, we've sort of last couple of weeks, I mean, this whole range is 2%, $57, give or take, maybe $60. And in particular, if you take this bottom one out here, 63, so it ran from 43, so that's $80 through there. So it's quite a decent sort of little range in that. And buy the dip has been very strong for everybody on this one here. So we're coming to a little bit of a sort of crucial point with this, I believe, because we've got this rising support, which it has respected, set up a couple of times down here. It's not a full channel because obviously it's just going whoop all the way through all this sort of stuff over here. But the point is, this line down here, as of the other day as well, bounced, came right off there. Just see if I update this a little bit. Anyway, close enough, good enough kind of thing for a couple of bucks. Excuse me. If this comes back down here again, yes, we're still going on with our range, but you're breaking this rising support, which makes it different to these two sell downs. These sell downs came within the rising support. What's happened here is basically we've just gone, turbocharged, bang, straight up. If you step out of it for a moment, you can see we're going up, 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 up. Now we're going sideways. So, what I'm going to do, move this out of here because that's price target and that was hit. We know that. So we're moving up. Now we're moving sideways. If you lose the momentum, which is this lower support through here, it doesn't mean that it's definitely down, but I think you need to honor that a little bit. And so what I mean by that is if we drag this a little bit higher and we say it does come back down here again, that buy zone almost got clipped, not quite. If it does come back down here again, we've got a couple of indicators through here But really, 84 is the one that you're still kind of looking for downside. It doesn't mean that you know it's the end of gold and coming over here because fundamentally there's no real shift. There's nothing to sort of say, okay, yep, let's all start selling gold now. The world's all worked out. Like gold's very much a sort of its own little fickle beast at the moment. It's not really working in conjunction or opposing to DXY. It's kind of off just doing its own thing and just basically going up. So you know what I mean. I think still any sort of pullbacks are going to be somewhat limited. I mean, you could sort of just be coming back down here 2850s again. Like it doesn't mean that it's coming all the way down here, but this breakdown here I think is would be quite significant underneath 2880. I mean, we're 56 bucks off there, and it's moving higher at the moment. So you know, it's not necessarily happening this second, but it's something to consider. I mean, it is setting up to a little bit of a triangle, which could eventually sort of obviously, you know, it leads to consolidation. Consolidation generally favors the direction in which it enters. So it enters positive, consolidates as a breather, wipe out a couple of positions, clear the book, and then on it goes. I'm very much Team 3000. I've said this a few times, but it doesn't mean that you can't consider the possibility that you could have some shakeouts as well first. We'll see how we go. At the moment, it looks like it wants to sort of push back up and retest overnight's highs. Um, so yeah, anyway, look, point being is you've got to consider both sides of the trade. And if you're coming down this side here, through this falling resistance, I'll put an alert on this one. So rising support, I should say. Rising support, the main there, and then probably across this little sort of horizontal here, which we sort of called out from the weekend. 2910 seems to be quite a sort of nice little area. It was the one that we called for confirmation that we'd be coming up to the top side of the range. Obviously that broke, and yes, bang, we came up to the top side range and also took out the highs. So it has put in a new high there. So I think these are the two levels here and here that I'm kind of really interested in. Should it start to move back down? Should it start to do this? At the moment, is looking very positive. I mean, realistically, we're right up around the top. By the dips, as I said, are very strong. So let's actually just put this onto and above. Get down onto a lower time frame. Clears it up a little bit for us. So we can have a look through here. Right, so here was yeah, as I said, it's quite a decent little sell down, like 20 bucks or something, 46 down to 18. So yeah, nearly 30 bucks at a pullback down here. But as you can see, buyers step in again and whap up to the top here, respecting this little zone through here. There's another little one. 32 has been quite a sort of significant little area through this period. So what we sort of saw with this sell down here, because I actually caught some shorts actually from the top over here, which was good, was this little sort of rising resistance in a shorter time frame. It's almost like one of those three drives, like one here, pull back, two drives, pull back, three drives, and then just slammed. So it doesn't mean that it's dead yet. As you know, I'm not a big fan of these microphone whatevers. They're not really something that I like to trade. I don't think that maybe I just don't trade them on the right products. Maybe I don't trade them on the right time frames. But however, I just don't think they're overly reliable. Technically, they're supposed to be reversals because you're taking out the lows here, lows here, lows here, highs here, highs here, highs here, kind of clearing the book and that. And then sort of it can sort of say that, okay, yep, it's supposed to be a reversal. We'll see how we go. As I said, I'm not a big fan of these sort of things, so we'll see what happens when some actual volume comes in. As of right now, RSI on the 1 hour is pushing up. You could see this sort of like coming up a little bit. I think this will be an interesting area for it to get above if it does so, because we can see that, you know, this has been a little bit of a sort of short term. If you get above here, you know, wicks here, wicks here, wicks here on the way back up as well. I think if you get a close above 39, you're right. I mean, it's only you know, $6 or $7, but you're right to sort of have a shot at going to the highs because sort of like as you can see, market sort of valued to sell it down here, market valued to sell it down here. If you can get above here, then I think you're looking to sort of replicate this kind of move over here, which should be this kind of move through here. So I think there's some nice little levels to sort of potentially trade. If you do get a close above 39, looking up to sort of test 45, and look above 45, or particularly a close above 45, 46, 47, that kind of area, well, bang, on with the show, and it's just been another shakeout and new all-time highs. I mean, it's every second day we get new all-time highs. So I think certainly, look, and I mean, we are going higher. I'm just cautious and wary of buying things at this point in this moment, when yeah, it's just so high. We're in very big sort of sell down zones, though. Like I sort of say with a few of these things, is sort of like if you look how much the market sold down here, definitely how much the market sold it down here. And then you look at how much the market sold it down here, pushed through, sold it through here, you need a couple of rejections through here. If this rejects through this area, if we see a sell-off without putting in a new all-time high, I think this is what we're kind of looking at and maybe a deeper correction. So either all-time high and bang on with the show, rejection without an all-time high, as in like it sort of comes up around sort of 40s or so, and then rejects back like we've seen these candles here. I think we could flip it, and then underneath here, we could say, okay, expecting some weakness through session. So under 31, I think is pretty much is the area that we're looking for. So put some little things like this, and this one I'm going to put up here, because you want to see it get above a new all-time high, continue on with that. Or if it goes back and flips around, sells down now and goes under 31, then we're looking at this kind of move down here. It's a bit of a range through here, but as you can see, it has rejected a lot through this area over here. So for one reason or another, this is where the market likes to sort of, excuse me, value it to sell it. Have a quick look at the daily. Yeah, as you can see, look, it's pretty much an indecision day yesterday. We took the highs, we sold back down, closed up here quite strong. No bottom wick on this daily, which is interesting. So no bottom wick on candles can generally leave it open to at least putting in a bottom wick. So yeah, it's certainly just up and run here. So we'll see how this one goes. Things certainly moving a little bit now. All right, let's tick along. So Aussie came down, bang, as we were kind of looking for. So again, look, I am looking for longs. I did catch some shorts through here last night. It was an absolute headache of a grind of a trade. I caught the shorts, actually, a very great entry up around here, sort of mid 60s or so. I think I got out around sort of mid 40s, no, maybe high 40s or so, 40, 50, this kind of area around over here. I did have my TP sort of set down here, through this little zone here. Just turning the alarm off. I had my TP set down here, and I took profits early, as I generally kind of do. It was just such a grind. If you look at this on a low time frame, oh my God, this was a headache coming down through here. But as you can see, it respected the lines quite well. Anyway, sort of came down through here. I saw this overnight, like I only just saw it this morning when I woke up, and I was like, oh, maybe this was the Fed minutes. But I had a look. Fed minutes were at 6 o'clock local time, Melbourne, and this is at 2:30. So not quite sure what it is that sort of there was something to do. Like another mate said, there was something to do with like VIX or VIX options or VIX expirations or something. I don't know, a term I'd never really heard of, and I have no idea about. So point being with these things though, it's a good example of why you need a TP and why I took profit before the TP, but have a target and take the bank, because these kind of moves. I mean, like, it would be frustrating as all hell to be in this nice trade into profit, bang, 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 then come up here, whip, whip, bang, and then down. And it was a very quick spike up. I mean, if you look at that, 5 minutes it went from 50 to 65, and then bang, straight back down like 15 minutes later. So, yeah, very interesting sort of trade sort of through that period there. But anybody trying to sort of catch a sort of short would have been loving it. But yeah, it'd be very frustrating if you hadn't had your TPs in to make your bank. Look, as I said, I think sort of market's still sort of digesting that kind of stuff. I am still looking at these lower levels. We are sort of finding this kind of common level of support where buyers are happy to sit on this thing here. I think if we go underneath here, underneath 35, um, there's a good chance we might sort of get a bit of a fill. Just bear with us 1 sec. Yep. So yeah, it's certainly, look, it is really just sort of a consolidation, but it does feel a little bit, just given where it is, a little bit rounded top. You know what I mean? Like, got this little one through here. Oops. That's kind of a level you probably want to see it close above. Um, that's right. Oof. So yeah, look, I think above sort of 70, and it could be on with the show. But as I said, I would like to get long at these levels here. We haven't had a proper retest of these highs around this 20 area. Overshoot maybe down, test 63. It was a very strong area of resistance, give or take sort of 10, 20 points or so, or 10 points or so through this area here. So an overshoot, get down here. But I do still think we are coming up to 64. I think it's just potential for a little bit of a shakeout, which is fine. I mean, the people that are trying to buy these levels at the highs, and this is the same reason that I'm not sort of overly keen to be buying gold at this point, because people are buying it at the highs. Well, that's fine. Let them get stopped out, and like I use the term, buy their tears while they're sort of crying about, oh, I bought it and it was at the highs and boom, I got stopped out. That's fine. I'll sit down here and say, great, I'll take those ones, thanks, mate. And then we look to ride this move up here. Because remember, if we're in this sort of structure, there's the three legs. Leg one, leg two, it's going to come at some stage. This could be it right here. It doesn't have to come down like this or this. But the point is that it will come. So you move up, find resistance, move back, find support. Support will generally come at previous levels of resistance. So these ones that we have marked out here. Then you get this leg. This leg is the leg that tells us double top, higher high, lower high, reversal, range, continuation. But you want to get in at a better risk reward at these levels potentially down here if we can get them. Like, it's not guaranteed that they come. I mean, this thing could run up here and just completely move, and you miss that part of the move. Well, so be it. You haven't lost money, but at the same time, sort of like, you've got a better chance of actually making money buying from these zones than you do throwing the dice at it, buying it at the highs as it looks like. I mean, if you look at this, this on the daily, it's overbought. It's rolling over there. This doesn't look like strong continuation, though I could see this pulling down and then just putting in a rocket day. So maybe I'll come back and revisit this one if we do get that move. But yeah, a rollover, bang, rocket up to price target. That'd be the ideal sort of trade and get a fill around low 63s. Yeah, so as I said, in the short term, I think this is an area you can see buyers are happy to sort of hold this level. Should they not hold it, we may get us at a little bit of an entry down at 63.20. I did say I wasn't looking to short this thing, and obviously yesterday, as I said, I did short it because as I said, I think that we are coming down over here, and the fact that it's squeezed all the way up over here, I thought that was too good a sort of risk reward option, that we could see another rejection from this level, which we did see coming down through here. All right, move along. So we got silver. Silver tried where we ate yesterday. So this is on the 1 hour. So yeah, silver, like this move here yesterday, I caught this short down through here. I didn't take this long. If like, I mean, it's a perfect back test though. This was the area we were saying, look, this is this is what they were respecting. Bang, smack down, and then sort of it just perfect back test. Again, it's the same sort of thing. This is where they're sellers. Now they become buyers. People that try to short it through this zone, well, now the bang, they come back up. Technically, it's actually this low down here that they sort of came into, but that retest was just perfect to the cent almost. Right back up here, tipped into the next zone. This is why being able to mark zones is absolutely crucial. I mean, you don't have to. It's not. You don't have to get it to the exact cent. It's not an exact science, but you got to have a pretty good, and you can't have massive zones just to sort of say, hey, look, high time frames. Yes, you can have bigger zones, but when you're trading intraday and all these kind of things, you need to have these small ones. This is where we expected sellers to be. This zone's through here. That's why we've got it marked out. Came in here, clipped it, and bang, it sold out hard here yesterday. And I did catch this short through here. If you put it on to, which was it? It was on a 15 or something. It was a nice trade. I put a post on X of this trade here. And just as it was coming through here and just bang, dropped down, came up here and then slammed down. Of course, it would have been great to say that, hey, I rode it all the way down to TP. I took bits off and pieces along the way, mid 60s. I think I had my sort of targets around here. Overshot that, took out the very lows, and in typical sort of fashion of what seems to be the theme at the moment, it was as soon as you take out an extreme, take out a low, that's reversal time. Take out a high, that's reversal time. So yeah, obviously these things will buck the trend and sort of move on with it and continue the trend at some stage. But this was a great trade through here, and it really sort of came and just played out beautifully to the downside there. And that was the same time that we saw gold obviously coming off about sort of $38 or whatever it was, or $28 or whatever it was. So look, all in all, it's just kind of sideways here. You can see there's a battle where the sellers are up here. They're allowing it to go a little higher each time. Buyers are pretty much holding this line down the bottom over here. I think short term, like as in through this session today, this is what I'm looking for. I'm in the red zone, just normal zone. I think this will tell us whether this bounce is going to continue. So this is the way that we're going, up here or down here. If it does fail and does come down and retest this lot down here, then that's a couple of whacks into it in quick succession. It ups the chance of this thing going through. If you're coming back down, come back down, it's a little bit of a gap, bounces, bounces, you know what I mean, like a ball, like dum, dum, dum. Eventually it'll go do, 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 plop, and fall off the edge of the table. So I'd be careful of longs. Certainly if we get a close down underneath 3250, because of course this is a big level to get above. We can see it's been quite significant all the way through here. Should 3250 go, you've got some smaller levels. I mean, there's a chop zone through here, but 3210 kind of area is probably where you're looking, should 3250 go, which, if we have a look down here, give or take, it's about another percent or so. That move yesterday, so just have a look at this while we do it. That move, that was a nearly 2% drop through break of trend. And this is the importance. It doesn't matter what time frame it's on, because these things it's the same every time frame. The actual extent and length and level of reaction is what changes. Obviously, higher time frame, more drastic. But you break trend, you need to honor that. And the fact that it moved quite quickly when it did break the trend means that this is what the market is looking at. If you break trend and it kind of just dribbles out the side, well, the market's not really looking at that trend. And I think that's very important to be able to differentiate the two. But if you see it drop like this and go bang out here, then that means that the market is watching that, and you're going to expect a bit more downside there. That's good. I'm going to write that down, actually. It's good for me. Good for me. But yeah, these are the two levels. Above sort of 3280, below 3265. Targets at there, 3308, 3250, so a little bit of a smaller target for the downside, but because we've got this added sort of fact that it's a bounce that hasn't really gone anywhere, you've actually got another target down here as well. So you've got 3211 as a bonus, should this go plop, 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 and come all the way down here. So I'll drag this down to target there. So that's kind of what we're looking at here. All right, DXY, let's get on to it. So it is absolutely grinding back. So, you know what I mean? Never underestimate the fanboys, the DXY fanboys. Like it's just sort of coming down, 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 down. So ugly sell downs. I've traded DXY, charted DXY for a long time though. To sort of see this kind of move here, I'm not shocked at all because look at this coming down. Oh, it's back to life. Look at this coming down. Boom, back to life. Oh, it's coming down. Boom, back to life. Higher, 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 higher of this last move down here, depending where you want to call this high, you could always sort of drag this up to over here and say, look, we're just at the 38%. That's probably a little bit better than where I had it. I had it just from this level over here, which puts it at 61%. But 38%, nice continuation move. I wouldn't be surprised if this does sort of just ratchet on a couple of rejections to confirm that we've got a bit of a high here, and then we start to move back down over here. But you know, the fact that it's sort of like has looked like it's rolling over and then kicks back in, looks like it's rolling, kicks back in. It's not. I'm not surprised. You know what I mean? Like I've seen it move like this a lot. This little section through here, this is on a 4 hour, but this is the kind of move that I was looking at with the daily on Aussie. See, 1, 2, 3, capitulation, bang, right through to the highs. If you look at Aussie daily, 1, 2, 3, look for a capitulation down here, bang, up to the highs. That's the kind of move that I'm looking for come Aussie, just to sort of show the similar of the two. Aussie looks like it's about to break through now as well. DXY hasn't opened yet. We've got about sort of 20 minutes, half an hour or so, and we'll start to get a bit of an idea of what they want to do with it. But given the fact that I know Aussie's not part of DXY, but given the fact that it's moving down, I would say that it's probably an idea that we might get a little bit of a gap up. I don't know how much higher of this we are going to be going. I would say probably around this area over here. You can see where it rejected. There was a bit of congestion around here. This is obviously a level that we were looking at on the sort of way down, which we hit that target and it's come up here, clipped in and rejected there. So look, I would be surprised. Look, if you go above this, wow, we could be in for a bit of a squeeze. But I would say that probably we see another move up to around this area and we must be getting pretty close. This is the 4 hour screaming overbought. That's a daily RSI look like. Look, daily RSI. It's coming down following that path that we kind of thought it would do. And it's coming moving up. Yeah, this is a better RSI here. RSI, sorry, fib retracement from the highs up here down to the lows, back up to the 38. Double looking for maybe like a double rejection at the 38. This kind of line section through here, and then the move down here. So this move here has obviously come a little bit higher, but this is kind of what we're looking at now. I still think this has got target sort of on its head, and that's where I'm sort of looking for. So I do believe, as I said, that we've got some areas to sort of sell into these rips. I can't see the scenario where this is coming all the way back up over here. Look, things can happen 100%, but yeah, we'll have to sort of wait and see how that plays out. Let's get rid of one of these. Maybe this one, whatever. Um, So yeah, we also seeing pretty strong. It is actually sort of vaguely respecting the top side of this again, which is interesting. So maybe this sort of comes and continues down through here, and this gives us our last move down to here. Oh, not that one, whatever. This, yeah, maybe this goes like this. Retest the top side of that again, and then we start to see the further move, bigger move up, and that sort of comes up over like this. For that bigger sort of head and shoulders that we're looking for. I'll have to wait and see. But yeah, so Aussie breaking lower as we sort of speak. Oh, Jesus. Yeah, there we go. There's that little alert that we were talking about. That sort of Aussie taking out the lows, and so we look for the buy zone. So I would say sort of like, yeah, we got another sort of maybe 10 to 30 points downside on Aussie here. All right, and flip across, we got copper. Copper, as I said, it's just looking flat. Like, it was saying the potential. It's funny, actually. I had a mate that sort of sent me a copper chart as well, and it's like, oh, potential head and shoulders. And I said, yep, yeah, that's what I've been calling as well for a potential. But the thing that makes me not think that this is going to turn into a head and shoulders, two things. One, a head and shoulders would mean, because this is quite a big neckline, head down to the neckline. A head and shoulders will take it all the way down here. Look, this can definitely happen. I don't think it's going to get down here. So for me, that negates the head and shoulders. Secondly, the fact that it's not getting up to this shoulder here to then sell down. I think this is more of a sort of like, as I said, stuffing, 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 stuffing. I reckon this is just going to go and then dribble and go bang down here. That's why I'm waiting just around this area here. But yeah, starting to see Aussie come off here a little bit. 40 down, just dropped 7 points in the last couple of minutes. Yeah, so I don't think the head and shoulders is something that I'm looking at. We'll see. We'll see. As I said, if it comes up here and then rejects from here, then I think, okay, yes, we can still call it. Close up above here, you're going back up to the top. But I would say this is more likely just going to go along here and dribble and go bang down here and then bounce back up. It goes in line with the potential for what I'm looking for Aussie as well. A dribble, shoot down, shoot back up. I think that's kind of the play that I'm looking for here. And finally, just got China, and it is sort of back up around the zone. As I said, it's ground up here. How are we looking for this on the fib? And just the 61 pretty much to the cent here. Let's update that. Yeah, 61% to the actual cent. And also that comes in line with this previous level that we've marked out through here, which has been very significant all the way along here. So you can see that the market is still respecting this. And so this gives us that confluence, 61% with a zone where we know the buyers and sellers have been tussling over, bang, and they sold it down. Has sort of bounced up and sort of held here a little bit. So that's interesting. Should this be the proper thing and it goes all the way down? But, the fact that it's sort of bounced up and still consolidating, we do know that sort of, it has a habit of looking like it's about to hit a zone, sell down, and then just keeps grinding, 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 grinding. So till we sort of take out these lows over here, 72780, then we sort of start to target back down over here. But again, I think sort of, just because it reacted off the 61A doesn't mean that it's going to hold forever. That could also mean that, it's going to sort of basically just have another shot at it. If it has another shot at it quickly, just bear with me 2 seconds. Yeah, if it has another shot at it quickly, then I would say that, there's a chance that we sort of go through and then sort of come back up and test these 713s over here. But it does have the ability to just keep grinding, grinding, grinding. But yeah, you'd want to see underneath those dip wicks to see it lower. Otherwise, yeah, there's a chance that it just kind of grinds up a little bit higher. So bear with us 2 seconds. All right, now we just had data out for Aussie, and we saw it bang spike back up off these lows here. So not quite down to that buy zone yet, but certainly the reaction there very strong. I mean, if you flip across to the data very quickly here, this is almost a running joke with me. The employment change, 44,000. 44,000 jobs, 20,000 spammed. Look at their predictions. 20, 47, 25, sorry, 26, 47, 25, 31, 25. They just spam mid 20s or thereabouts in that every month. And they're just so drastically off every single month. Like I cover this every month and that because it's an ongoing joke. These guys are just probably the worst. Like the best, I just put up a thing on it. The best trade is predicting that these guys are going to be incorrect. They have not nailed it once. They're just shocking. Anyway. So 56, no sort of change the last month. 44, very strong. Typical reaction from Aussie on that move there as well. If you have a look on the lower time frame, you can see it. Bang. You know what I mean? If we're still pumping out all these jobs, there's no need for the market necessarily to sort of give the helping hand to sort of sort of cut anytime soon. And particularly with what Bullock was saying the other day, these are the numbers that she's kind of looking at. So yeah, Aussie's reaction there, very sort of typical with it. What do we move? 37. I mean, I guess technically you go over here, but we did drop down. We were at 33 to 51. So nearly 20 points, which for Aussie is a decent little push here. It looks like I may sort of want to continue up here a little bit more. So it'll be interesting to see what they do with DXY. Like obviously we got this big push overnight and it got sold into. As I said, I've still got to sort of investigate as to what this sort of move was. And we'll see if the market wants to push it past this little zone just here we have where they tried to hold it last night. So let's just put one of these down here as well. I think these, if you could take out this level here and then take out 60, then we could be seeing this sort of stronger move on here. So the way that Aussie wants to move is if obviously we have strong data there, bang, you've got the reaction. Now we need to sort of see what's the market going to do with DXY. If US dollar gets sold off, plus we have strong data, that's the secret sauce to get us moving. Because you're winning on both fronts. It's sort of like, you're moving up because Aussie's got good data. You're moving up because USD's kicking. If you've got strong data, but US dollar gets bought up, you get this kind of thing happening. Generally, this will outweigh this. Our data's good, but if people are buying US dollar, they love the US dollar more than the Aussie. So this will generally overcome. So this could just get sold into, just as we've seen this bit here sold into. So there's an important little level here at 51, I would say. A rejection room here could see the similar of this. As I said, my buy zones are down here. I would like to get on board with these, but you just have to bear it. And the fact that I missed this little pump up move here, but I'm sticking to the plan because I would like to buy these levels down here at the moment. But again, sort of just a third one of this is if we have bad data and US dollars being bought up, well, that's two segments of the market, and that's what gives us the last 3 months of Aussie. All right, and finally, let's just have a look at any sort of news. Where we go through here. Thursday, it feels like a very long week so far, but that was pretty much it in terms of data. Excuse me, for the day. At least through the session, we got unemployment claims tonight. That looks pretty flat. I don't expect that to do a great deal. Manufacturing index. Look, this is obviously not sort of high tier news and that, but data. But that is a bit of a slowdown there as well. So if one of the things that's been holding US dollar up is the fact that they've had exceptionalism, whatever. Their data's been strong, which takes away the sort of the conversation and need for any sort of cuts. But if this does sort of start to show some cracks, that could show up in that sort of move down with DXY, as we've been saying. So yeah, it's something to watch out for this evening. The rest of that, nothing too much in there. We've got Bullock talking tomorrow morning. PMIs all through the day tomorrow, and then just the PMIs to finish up for the week, actually. No sort of super late news this week for US dollar. All right, that's it from me.